Well, we're back in business, I think. We'll see here if we're back in business or not. But um, I had to run out for a couple of minutes, and since I have everything still sitting right here and still need to pick up, I thought I would do this right quick. So bear with me, and we'll see if we can get through this. Free is always what I'm aiming for, or as low cost as possible, so that we don't stretch or bend or break your budget trying to do the things that you want to do for preparedness. So I'm always looking for quicker, easier, more efficient ways of. Sorry, I'm looking for something underneath my desk. Actually, it's like a tissue box I'm putting my feet on because the seat is too high. It sure makes a difference. Okay, got my tissue box. So at any rate, a little less light here for right now. I showed this corn muffin mix earlier. If you put a little bit of sugar and a little bit of vanilla in that, it is really, really good. And you can, there are some things you can do. You can use your powdered milk and your powdered eggs and so forth in this if you're in a preparedness situation where you're actually using your supplies, or indicate that you would want to rotate them, which if they have oxygen absorbed within them and they're stored under 75 degrees, I would say leave them alone, don't open them, but that's just me. So back to this. They do have brands that are add water only. I really like the add water only stuff, partly because it's quicker and easier to use. So the other thing that I had showed a minute ago, you really don't need to put that in the freezer, but you could. Things like a brownie mix or a cheesecake mix or anything that these generally are going to have more than a year's shelf life at room temperature if your house is not 110 degrees. Um, they're generally going to be more than a year. I have used brownie mixes as old as 9 years old. They had no special packaging. But there's a couple of reasons you might want to rotate them in and out of your freezer. I feel like I said, I put these right in the freezer door. And a couple of the reasons that you might want to do that are um, if there is any chance that there's little buggies in them, the buggies might grow, but if they're kept at 0 degrees or under for 3 days, then even after you take them out, unless they're infested from the outside in, they should be fine once they've been frozen for 3 days. It is a good idea to use the Ziploc bag, which is now down on the floor. I'm not going to lift it up for a second, but it is a good idea to use the Ziploc bag just to keep them drier, especially if they're going to go back on your shelf at room temperature afterwards. So if you rotate them in and out of your freezer, the least benefit that you're going to get is that if there were any little buggies in there that might hatch, then they're probably not going to hatch. The other reason is because once you get a product in a number 10 can with an oxygen absorber in a Mylar foil pouch type bag, you really want it to stay there if at all possible. Now the bags are reusable. You can just cut them, cut the seal off at the top, and you can reuse the bags without any difficulty at all. However, the cans used to be reusable. Generally speaking, they are not now. So it's a zero cost method because these zipper bags that you may or may not put your dry product into are reusable, and so it's just a zero cost method. I like to keep things that I use on a regular basis, such as spaghetti, potato flakes, these wonderful. You put a little sugar and a little vanilla in these, you'd be surprised. These wonderful corn muffin mixes. The things that I use on a regular basis that are going to be rotated. I like to keep several of them out in hand because there's no point putting them in canning jars and having the expense of a lid for dry packing or an oxygen absorber for a mix that's less than probably 50 cents for this mix. It's just not cost effective. So if you, let's say you keep 10 of these and 6 of these cheesecake mixes or brownie mixes or what have you. And I've heard you can make brownies with a waffle iron. I'm wanting to try that one of these days, especially because I have a Belgian waffle maker that's never been out of the box. I'd really like to try that. Um, if you have those, I should say. So if you have some of those in your freezer, I would just use them right out of the freezer. I would probably, in most cases, not rotate them out. But, what I started to say, the things that we use on a repeated basis, I keep several of them around because there's no sense in spending the money on a can lid or an oxygen absorber if you can just use it. and there's no absolutely no added expense, and you have like 6 on a shelf at all times, or however many you choose to have on your shelf at all times. And then it greatly expands your day-to-day grocery items that you can dig right into. So having said that, I think that was all I wanted to say on that topic. There are several other things that you can put in the freezer with the same results. I'm sorry, my hair is really bugging me. That looks better. Several other things that you can do with good results. Things like macaroni and cheese. I think there was more in the way of pasta noodles, all that rice, all that kind of thing. You can rotate it in and rotate it out. Or just if you have space in your freezer, you may as well just leave it in there because it's going to be, safe and sound. We will talk more about the freezer in a day or two. Probably not tonight unless I get on a roll here. I have things I need to do. I was just really excited to see if I can do 2 videos in a row because it's been months since I've been able to do 2 in a row, and I think I'm going to like this new system here. So I guess that's all. Brownie mixes, cake mixes, muffin mixes, pancake mix. There was a big scare, and I'm going to stick my neck out here a little bit on this one. There was a big scare years ago about using old pancake mix that had been kept on the shelf. I used some the other day that was, the year, I think it was from 2009. It was totally fine. Now, there were some eggs that you read that case that someone got sick and another person, I think, died. If I were living in a humid climate like, I think it was Alabama or Georgia where those people live. If I was living in an area where the humidity was that high, yeah, I probably wouldn't keep something in my shelf on the cupboard shelf that long and use it, and I'm sure could grow dangerous things in it. But these kids tasted, according to the story that I read, they tasted the off flavor. It didn't taste good, and they ate it anyway. So it did have an indicating flavor. I would be comfortable in saying in a generally dry climate, if the temperatures aren't crazy, your dry foods are going to be safe and usable for a good long time after the expiration date. But to be safe and to be prudent, you can dry pack can them in jars. There's a video on that. You can dry pack can them in Mylar foil pouches. You can dry pack can them in dry pack, we call it canning, I guess, in 2-liter pop bottles. There's a video on that. It's just pretty darn straightforward, not much to it. But I think for me, it's a great advantage to just teach Victoria everything, that I use on a regular basis in storage. Now we're up over 8 minutes here, sorry. Because there's no sense in spending the money or the shipping or whatever you're going to pay out to have it. You don't need everything in a number 10 can. The stuff that I have in number 10 can stays there. It stays there. It stays. I can't even get to it. It's put in a place that I can't even reach it. It's like blocked in by other things. So I couldn't rotate it right now if I wanted to. I guess that's more than you needed to know on that topic, but I have had those corn muffins. I did accidentally run an experiment. I didn't mean to run. I'm sorry, my legs are hurting and I'm kind of shifting around a little bit. I did make an experiment accidentally, which was I had one of these mixes that had remained on my shelf. I'm pretty sure it was bought. Is it upside down? It's upside down. Pretty sure it was purchased at the same time as the ones on my shelf were purchased at the same time as the ones in my freezer. And I did notice that the ones that I used out of my freezer had a better quality from being kept in there. So even with or without the Ziploc bag, of course, I shouldn't call it Ziploc, freezer, the zipper freezer storage bag, this is called a Flagger style, with or without a bag, either way, preferably with the bag. Because this is not an airtight container. It just has waxed paper on the inside and it's folded down. So that's the end of that. I think I went into too much detail. What do you think? Don't tell me what you think because it'll hurt my feelings. So that's almost 10 minutes. God bless your efforts to prepare, make a list, and check it twice. So you need more than just beans and just try some. I'll try to get to those other topics as soon as possible. And the videos are going to probably continue to be sporadic. What happens sometimes is I don't do any for a week, and then I do 3 or 5 or 6 or 8. Well, I did when I could do them one after another, but now the system is letting me do that again. I may resume doing that because I have to kind of wait until I have a good day where I'm strong enough to haul the stuff out and make my video. I'm glad that my teeth are looking kind of black here. You can't see anything because I'm having major dental disasters going on, and so please just ignore my teeth if you will. I will. So God bless your efforts to prepare, and we'll talk to you soon. 10 minutes and 38 seconds. Bye for now. Stop recording.